Welcome back to the MacGuffin tapes. We're here live. No, we're not live, but we're live in the sense that we are all together here in beautiful Baden.
In one almost empty room with a lot of echo.
Nobody will notice.
Yeah, but it's nice to be back. We were on a break for holidays, and now we're back to talk about Kneecap.
We saw yesterday all together.
Yeah, it was actually really nice. We saw it in, what do you call this in English, an open-air cinema?
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually I was thinking about, is that something that they do in other countries as well? I think that's probably very European or Swiss.
I think they do that, yeah. I don't know, do they do that in Argentina?
No, I would say definitely not. But I guess in America what they have are these drive-in
cinemas.
We have those here as well.
That's like the most American thing.
Yeah. I would like to go to one of those.
Yeah. But they have in Switzerland as well.
But open air, I feel like it's very Swiss. I don't know. I mean, the Locarno Film Festival is also like open air, so maybe that's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought it was really nice. Ala, you've been helping here with the open air cinema in Baden like for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really nice because it really felt like a very communal thing from the city, and very different people, I mean, from all ages and different backgrounds. And actually I have to say the view was also very nice because it was like on top of a building, and you could see like the mountains or the hills from Baden here.
Yeah,
so
you can actually also see the mountains a little bit on a clear day.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was super nice, and then we got to see Kneecap. Actually, Ala, you were championing this movie for a while.
Yeah, that was my protege in the program this year. I mean, everybody kind of wanted to have it this year. The Kneecap was one of the films that was really clear from the start that we're going to show it. Mm-hmm. That and Anora. Mm-hmm. Well, Anora was a little bit different because everybody watched it, everybody liked it, but we were not sure that we need to show it because it was an Oscar film and a lot of people already saw it, we thought, but we were kind of wrong because it turned out to be almost sold out, first of all, and second of all, people are coming up to us and saying they have never heard about this movie before, and although it won an Oscar just like in February or when
here's the thing again, you guys live in some kind of cinema or movie bubble, and you're under the impression that everybody knows everything about movies.
But how did you first come across it?
So we watched it in a very small cinema in Bar Harbor, Maine. Shout out to Bar Harbor, Maine.
You have to specify that you mean Kneecap, because we just talked about Anora.
Yeah, Kneecap. No, we're talking about Kneecap again. Let me quickly see. So that was, we just randomly saw a poster, and I have heard about the movie already by then. That, like, I don't know, some sources talking about the movie a little bit already, because it already by then, I think, won at Sundance. Wait a second. Let me quickly see.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was Sundance. I saw it.
It premiered and was the first Irish language film to premiere at Sundance. I don't think it won necessarily, or at least I don't remember, but it was definitely one of the first Irish language film to be shown at Sundance. Let me see about the cinema quickly.
Yeah, and it was released last year, I think, right? It came out last year, so this is about a year later, but yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I mean, we here with the podcast, we are a little bit late to the game with talking about Kneecap, I think, but let me see. Maybe I can even find the name of the cinema. How about that?
Yeah, maybe I should mention that you guys are both huge fans of Ireland.
Yeah, that's also true.
But yeah, maybe could you explain a bit about the context of Ireland, because I feel like you know a lot more about Ireland than I do. I have never been to Ireland, and I know little of the history and the wars and
conflicts I think you have to specify here that in case of Kneecap, we're talking about Northern Ireland or north of Ireland. Depends which side you're on, but basically it's part of the UK, right? It's part of the kingdom. And
it used to and still does have a majority of Protestants, right? I mean, Ireland is like a deeply or the whole conflict stems from Catholics versus Protestants, or Irish people versus English people, basically, right? And in the 70s or something, there was a time where the Irish Republican Army, which is basically the paramilitant group of Ireland, and this group basically just tried to fight for the liberation of Northern Ireland so they can unify as one republic, and there were a lot of it was a lot of violence, car bombs, and them killing British soldiers. It was almost a little war, or a little civil war there.
When was the civil war?
In the 70s or 70s and 80s, and then I think in 91 they had this Good Friday agreement that kind of ended it, but it's just really more or less a frozen conflict, right? It's not like the issue has been resolved, and it will not be resolved because the population is divided, and some people, are seeing themselves as English or part of the United Kingdom, and others see them as Irish, and that's the status quo. And I guess because the Irish population is a bit the minority, they kind of shows in the film as well, right? And they try to fight for establishing Irish language as an official language of Northern Ireland, or what is exactly the thing?
Yeah, I mean, at least in the movie, I think it is, they're talking about this initiative that the goal was to establish Irish as one of the official languages.
Right.
Which I don't actually know, is it also officially an official language in Ireland?
I would assume it is. I can look it up.
I mean, they definitely have to study it in school, so...
And actually, that's something we saw in the movie. At least the music classes where they had
they
to
also
sing the
had
songs.
to. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's a extracurricular in some places.
I think
it
is an official language, because it would be silly if it wasn't. Because also if you drive in Ireland, the how do you say Straßenschilder? The signs are also all in Gaelic. So English and Gaelic usually. So it must be an official language.
Sorry, I get confused. So Gaelic is the language. They also speak it in Scotland.
For the sake of the terminology, let's use Irish, the Irish language, because Gaelic may not necessarily only mean Irish,
it might be also Scottish.
Yeah, because technically speaking, if you say Gaelic, I think it usually refers to Scottish Gaelic.
I see.
And then if you say Irish, then it's the Irish language.
Right.
Oh, yeah, good.
So we can use the Irish language and the English language. And what was the agreement of the Good Friday agreement? So what was the point?
I don't remember actually. I mean,
basically another thing is that
I just know it ended the fighting.
Northern Ireland was heavily colonized, basically, right, throughout its history, and it got saturated with a lot of Scots and a lot of Brits throughout history, because they used to the crown used to give out land of Northern Ireland to whoever was, doing good for the crown. So they would just give land that was free, that was in Northern Ireland. And so there was a lot of Scottish influence, because a lot of Scottish nobility would come to Northern Ireland. That's why it also has a lot of the language has a lot of Scottish influence as well. The accent, their accent is different than the accent in Ireland. I mean, the accents that are in Ireland.
Are in Ireland.
Do you want to know about the Good Friday Agreement?
Yes, please, let me finish. And then that is the point, that is the reason why there is the Irish are a minority. I don't know if you can say that about it, but I guess a minority in Northern Ireland because...
They are also from a political point of view.
Yeah,
they do not have to...
because they are the population is saturated with the people that were subjects of the crown and were kind of working for it or whatever, you know. So,
small correction: the Good Friday Agreement was not signed in 1991, but 1998, and key elements were power-sharing government, decommissioning of paramilitary weapons, release of prisoners, human rights protections, and cross-border cooperation. But
another thing, like, why did they... what are they waiting for? In the sense of, as long as the people don't vote to be part of Ireland or the Republic of Ireland... as long as the majority is not Irish, they will always stay part of the UK. Right?
Well, so that's also a difficult question because I'm not sure whether or not the UK would really allow Northern Ireland to secede, or secede, or how do you say that?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Succeed.
Not succeed. Secede, like to split off from the UK.
Yeah.
Secede, right?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
From the UK, because I mean. Yeah, I don't think they would probably tolerate, or they would like to see this, but also from a demographic point of view, I think the loyalists, or not the loyalists, but the Republicans, right, the pro-Irish people, they are going to at some point surpass the Protestants or the loyalists. Because they just have a much higher birth rate at the moment. So it looks like at 2040 or 50 they might be the majority in Northern Ireland, and then maybe unification will become a topic again.
Don't you have to be a minority of voting population? Because, I mean, obviously...
Well, eventually it all comes down to political power, right? And if the Sinn Féin, or how it's called, is like the pro-Irish party, has a majority, then I guess something like that could become a topic again. But then again, I'm not sure if then the UK would say, well, we're not going to tolerate this because we have to protect our people, right? So, I mean, this is still like an unsolved conflict, and it will remain so.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So,
thank you to our political advisor for enlightening us on this topic.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe we should go back to the actual topic.
Yes, I mean, it is the actual topic. I think you cannot talk about Kneecap as the band and Kneecap the film without talking about politics. And actually, that is why I wanted to suggest that we talk about the movie from a bit of a political perspective, but not in terms of their Irish heritage and the influence on the Irish language and all that, but the controversies that have been around them right now. Specifically Glastonbury and Coachella and revoking of visas and all that kind of stuff. I don't know actually, Michael, if you even know about that.
No, but first we should mention maybe that Kneecap the movie is about this band, or this hip-hop band from Northern Ireland?
North of Ireland.
Or North of Ireland?
Yeah, so I had forgotten that, so while watching the movie I realized, actually this is based on a real story, and the actors are the actual members of the band. Mm-hmm. But yeah, can you explain what you mean with these controversies?
Or maybe first, so do we need more context who Kneecap are?
Yeah.
Well, you said it already, right? And basically, maybe a short recap of the movie would make sense.
Yep.
I'm not very good at storytelling. You know me. I get straight to the point.
That is where you come in, because we don't need storytelling here.
Right.
We only need raw facts and synopsis.
Okay. Well, basically, in a nutshell, as Michael said, they're an Northern Irish band. They sing in Irish, and they have sing a lot about drugs, and well, their entire basically existence is based on like
and politics too.
And politics, yeah. Well, their existence is basically stems from them being suppressed as the minority in Northern Ireland, and they are trying to fight this with music or hip hop.
And the Irish language.
And also they have, as a side business, they deal drugs as well. That maybe is also
well, in the movie, I don't know, like...
I'm reasonably sure this wasn't, but this is probably a thing.
So basically the thing is, we don't really know how much of the film is the truth and how much is fiction, because it's kind of fictionalized biography of the band. And I would say... probably most of it, to my in my point of view, the majority of the film is probably made up. But, first of all, fictionalized and dramatized, obviously.
For sure.
Like, for example, I would say that the character of Georgia, who is like the loyal, like so Liam's girlfriend in the film, or love interest, who is from a loyalist family, I would say is entirely fictionalized. But this is just my opinion. In any case, the three members of the band are also the people who are playing themselves in the film. Do we need the names, or?
I have a quick recap of the true elements of the movie.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, that DJ Prove is a teacher is correct.
Yeah, that I knew.
I would have guessed that.
Then the baptism scene is derived on a real event.
Yeah.
Actually...
derived, but not from his life? Because there is a picture at the end.
Based on a real event. It doesn't say from his life.
Yeah.
And the police interrogation scene where he demands to have an Irish interpreter on site instead of because he pretends like he doesn't speak English. Mm-hmm. This is also inspired by a real life event, but involving a friend of the band.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool.
Yeah.
That is so badass.
The father is not a real life fugitive from the IRA.
Father is not actually Michael Fassbender.
And also the Georgia's relationship, as you mentioned, is also fiction.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I think it is a very well dramatized film, in the sense of like it's very well adapted to be a film. Mm-hmm. Whichever was their real biography, I think the movie that they made out of it is just amazing.
It's an awesome movie.
Yeah, I mean, I would speculate as well that probably the drug parts in some sort of fashion still happened, or that they
they're hip hoppers.
Also, to
right?
be honest, the first time we watched it, I was kind of a little bit appalled with all the drugs.
You always are.
Yeah, I always am, but actually now, having seen it the second time, I must say, I think it was very over the top, specifically to be like mocking it or like almost laughing at it. So actually, it's almost like a Tarantino effect with the violence, you know. It's so over the top that it's not real anymore.
That's also one of the reasons why she hates Wolf of Wall Street. Right?
Well, not only, but also.
Yeah, but I think that's true. Like in that sense, it's a bit enhanced or over the top, like in Wolf of Wall Street or Tarantino violence. And there are some scenes where they do so much coke, or what the issue that they have is that they mix coke with ketamine.
Something.
I don't know. I would believe that if you do that much drugs, that you're pretty like out of your mind. But I don't know. I've never done those drugs, so I don't know for sure.
We can try it out next time when we have a podcast.
A case study. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I must say also, in this film, they use animation also specifically to show the effects that the drugs have on them, right? Do you remember this? I guess it's stop motion using like, what was it?
Like
Play-Doh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. I love how they used it.
But to be honest, I don't think that's. I mean, yeah, that's probably not what happens when you take ketamine.
I mean, we're not talking about that. We're talking about showing it on screen, and that's, I think, was very effective what they did.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's nice to show like the hallucinogenic effects of the drugs, and then they use the Play-Doh to transform some characters. What else was there? And I wanted to say that it's a nice use of some of cinematography elements, like the plastine. Also, I like the how would they call it? The subtitles in English are like sort of graffiti-esque, or actually no, it's usually like it's like their handwriting, I think.
Yeah, it's like from his notes, right? Because maybe we should go back a little bit to say again what the premise is of the movie. So we're following the two young lads that are selling drugs, and they write music, and they get caught at a party dealing drugs or having a lot of drugs on them, and one of them, Liam, or as he is also known, Makara, gets arrested, and he asserts his right to speak Irish, and he insists on having an Irish interpreter. Although, of course, I mean, obviously, he can speak English, he understands English, and the police that arrested him, they know that he speaks English, so they're very annoyed, but they can't do anything. That is his right, and they have to provide an interpreter, which they do, and the interpreter turns out to be the future DJ Provi, the Irish music teacher, and then he comes, he helps interpreting this situation, and then he gets a hold of the notebook with Kneecap's lyrics and like a slate of acid, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's the
so that's how the journey starts, and then he meets the other guy as well, and then the band starts.
Yeah, maybe before that is the movie starts with an opening about the conflicts in Ireland, and then we have a voiceover of one of the guys saying, okay, this is not how we're going to start the movie, and then they proceed to show the party where they were busted. So I think that's also cool, like how they break the fourth wall in a lot of instances.
Yeah, and how they include the elements. So obviously they cannot talk about the struggle of the Irish plus the Irish language without mentioning the Troubles, as they're known, and
such a euphemism if you think about it.
It definitely is.
It just sounds like a little bit of a fight, but actually I don't even know how many thousands of
just
people.
Just the Troubles, just a bit. But yeah, I mean, the way that they do it, I think, is very cool. How they just include all those elements, how they also include some real footage from some demos people had for the Irish language, right? They just include it as like a documentary type footage into this film, and it just works perfectly. And then the animation, that's why I really like how they included all those elements, and it worked so well. I think it's done really cool. And I thought about some of the scenes that even the cinematography is really done in a very interesting way, because I mean, of course, the scenes with the effects of the drugs are done in a very creative way. Not only the animation, but also just how the cinematography, through cinematography, they show this experience. Yeah.
And maybe to add last but not least, also their music is pretty cool. If you like rap, you should definitely listen to their songs. They have a few really cool ones.
Yeah, actually, I'm not a huge fan of hip hop, but I will say I really liked it. I don't know, maybe it's actually the Irish, but you can also see that that's when you realize that these are the actual guys because of how they rap. They're like perfect, like the rhythm they have, and it's just really cool. Yeah,
Absolutely. Now maybe going back all the way to the controversy, whatever.
The controversies surrounding the band. Which would be, so in the past, I guess, couple of months or
since they have like world stage and are super famous, basically.
Okay, I would say since also the full-blown war that started between Israel and Gaza, Palestine, there has been a lot going on because obviously Northern Ireland being a colonized country or space, there's obviously a certain degree of what do you call it?
Sympathismus.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Sympathizing with Palestine because they see themselves as Palestine in the conflict.
Well, yeah, obviously because they are also colonized, and it's kind of a similar situation. And as we already discussed, you and I, that Israel is the product of
Britain.
of the UK to begin with.
Side note, also Ireland is by far the country in the European Union that supports Palestine the most. Netanyahu even once flew around Irish airspace when he was flying to the US because he was scared that Ireland is going to take down his plane in some shape or form. That's how much. Yeah. So that's that. And then also I think another controversy that kind of blew up is that they were kind of asking, to kill your local MP in the sense of, kill any politician that is a loyalist.
Yeah.
Which is also not very ideal.
The word I was looking for was solidarity.
Solidarity. Yeah.
So Irish Palestinian solidarity, which is, of course, if you look at it through the lens of a colonized country, obviously Ireland identifies with the oppressed rather than the oppressor because they have never been the oppressor, unlike the UK. So, and there has been a lot of stuff going on with Kneecap at those festivals where they would shout out certain slogans, have certain flags, and some people would get upset and accuse them of anti-Semitism. And then at the next concert, they would just use those accusations and make it part of the show. So I think at one of the, I don't know which, but at one of the shows they used some accusations of them being anti-Semites as like the intro into the show, as like on screen or something like that.
Actually, that reminds me of the scene in the movie with the radical Republicans against drugs, which they then also included in the show with the the voice or the recording that they took, and then they used it as an intro to the show.
Or the outro.
Or the outro, which is basically the exact story that you now mentioned. Yeah,
so see, it's kind of very much in line, and I don't know, it's kind of life imitating art imitating life, because we saw it now in the movie, and obviously the movie came out a few years ago, or like a year ago, and now we see it in real life, so with a bit of a different spin to it, but
Yeah, and I actually mentioned yesterday too that I felt like maybe the beginning of the movie was a bit long to me, like setting up I mean, the guys, their background dealing drugs, and then we also have the story about, now I forget his name.
The DJ.
No,
the father.
The father, yeah. The father is Michael Fassbender plays the father of Nisha. Okay, yeah. So I felt like, that took it took a while for me for the movie to really start. Once they, I guess the first real great scene is where the interrogation where the DJ is working as a translator and and then it's really funny when he sort of
resisting arrest.
No, he gives him this tip he has a really smart idea about how to frame his problem, and then this is something much more intelligent that Nisha would say. And then
that was Liam though.
Oh, yeah, right, that was Liam. Sorry, yeah. And then at some point, Liam even starts speaking English, yes, that's right, say that as well. So it's kind of...
when he says resisting arrest, I think that's the funniest moment of the film, when he's this whole time speaking in Irish, and then he can't say something in Irish because he doesn't know how to, or maybe there's no phrase like that in Irish at all. I don't know how the language works, but...
or also, what was also funny about the scene is when, the DJ, right, the teacher... is phrasing this kind of argument for him, and then telling it to the policewoman, and the policewoman is like, "That's what he said."
It's really funny.
And then
I would say the interrogation scene is generally my favorite scene in the whole movie. It's just so funny.
Well, I think there are a couple of scenes where it's actually a real scene where you stay a bit longer. I think those were really worked for me, and I remember them well. And maybe some stuff in between, which is a bit more fragmented, it's also fun, but I don't know how to put it.
But I generally agree with you. First of all, the intro to the movie was too long, and also the whole Fassbender storyline, to be honest, couldn't care less about it.
I mean,
and it also didn't really make a difference whether it's there or not.
I disagree completely. I think everything that is in this movie is great. Everything should be there, and even now I'm thinking about, although I did say that I was appalled with the amount of drug scenes and the amount of drugs, I actually think the point of it all is just different, because it also gets mentioned in a way in the film when they say there is a certain amount of speakers of the Irish language in Ireland. We happen to be 3 people that also speak it. And basically, I think the point of it is we are a part of a bigger group. If we happen to be like that, if we happen to have such views, if we happen to do drugs, it doesn't mean that everybody does that. It just means that we are those people and we own up to it. We can be whatever we want to be. We are just a part of the bigger group, and that's just how it is. And the group is not homogeneous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe actually talking about Michael Fassbender's character, who was sort of like the leader of
part of the IRA, I guess.
Well, probably not the leader, but just an infamous IRA member.
Yeah, IRA means what again?
Irish Republican Army. That was basically the paramilitant group that blew up stuff in Northern Ireland for unification.
And then they also show what got blown up and what didn't, what didn't go off.
So I think his figure is sort of important. It also gets clear at the end of the movie to show the different approaches between the Revolutionary Army and their approach through music and through the language, and that shift. I think it gets summarized pretty nicely at the end, where the father tells Nisha, like, you are the bullet, or something along those lines. Like the words are like a bullet.
So I do enjoy that scene. That's that kind of when it all kind of comes together. Right? Yeah. Maybe we should stop, using violence for the cause and do it more in a cultural way as much as rap. I mean, rap is culture, but some people tend to maybe disagree with the statement, right?
Well, obviously it's
promotes
culture.
Violence,
it's
and
art
drugs
as well.
Yeah, but it's usually rap is about topics that many decent people
but
approve of, right?
But again, can we go back to the topic of politics here? Because they say in the movie, yes, they do say like maybe violence is not it. That's not not the only way to do it. I don't know, but to be fair, they are kind of promoting violence in their work. Kill your local MP is not a non-violent statement.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, let's say, how serious are you? How seriously do you mean it when you say it? But if you have a platform like that, you should probably be more responsible with the things you say.
Ask or tell that to Elon Musk.
Well, I mean, that, if we take Elon Musk as the standard, then I don't even know.
Yeah, but it's true what you say, Ala, that in a sense they want to be like very radical or extreme or in your face or rebellious. But on the other hand, you also have like a responsibility, I guess, like how you use your voice. Huh?
Absolutely.
What else did I want to say? Once the band starts getting together, that's when the movie really takes off for me. When I think, first it's the teacher, the DJ finding the notes, and then he decides to produce like a demo, or in his garage. And
by the way, speaking of the garage, that's also one of my favorite scenes. When they like record their first tracks and this whole escapade that they have there. It's kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, so they recorded the three of them get together and record the first song in the garage, and at the same time taking a lot of drugs. So I think that scene works very well, and I guess do they use the plasticine? I don't remember. I think they use a lot of not shaky cam, but it's.
Yeah, there's definitely some elements there that make it a little bit surreal and.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like very. Like frantic movement of the camera, and we get different scenes how they paint each other like on the body and sort of are full of adrenaline. I think that's really believable. I would guess that could have happened. I don't know. I mean, it's a bit over the top, but I mean it sounds realistic, huh?
Yeah.
So that's where the movie starts for me. And what's actually the conflict after that? So they release. Oh, that's another funny scene, huh? So I think they record the demo. And then they they play at a pub for the first time, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think that scene is really funny, and I think that's very typical for Northern Ireland, or it could be Scotland as well, like a local pub, very small, like a lot of old people there, and it's really empty, and then they do their first show, and there's actually almost no one there, but one of the barkeepers is like a younger girl, and she records them and finds their music quite good, and that's how the word spreads around.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny. Like there are a lot of like small characters, like people from the town that are there just to give some micro impressions, but they're really funny. For example, one of the older people there, I don't know if it's a bartender or the owner who. I think one face we see, it's like, sort of, what is this? And then in a later scene when a lot of people are coming to the party, sort of like surprised or something, and I really enjoyed those micro impressions those background people give.
Also the Republicans, what was it? Radical Republicans Against Drugs, or how is it called?
Yes.
Yeah.
Air-rad.
Yeah, I mean, these are also included, right, as kind of the antagonists in the film.
Yeah.
And then it turns out they're not really against drugs all that much as they are radical Republicans.
To literally quote them, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, again, I think we already kind of teased it, but it's probably kind of talking about... the political views and the different angles from which you can be radical, a radical Republican maybe specifically, and I mean in that case the way is obvious through language, and I guess having sex with loyalists and saying that our day will come at the end of it all.
Cocky Arla.
Yeah, that's also like the scenes with Georgia. Is it Liam's girlfriend? Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a bit shocking, and you get to see some sex scenes. I don't know how much.
I would say
over the top.
Listen. I just watched Honora last week. I would say it's not actually that much of like sex scenes in Kneecap.
No,
well, but it's also a reasonable amount of it. So.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just thinking about the reactions we heard a bit in the crowd. Maybe when we were watching it yesterday. I mean, most of them were laughs, but maybe for some it was a bit too much.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I guess I enjoyed their relationship. I thought it was funny and sort of endearing, but nothing like typical movie relationship where they hate each other but love each other. So yeah. But I think one of the other important conflicts has to do with DJ and his girlfriend, because his girlfriend is sort of, I don't know if she's a member of a political party, but she's sort of guide or the leader of
this movement for the Irish language.
Yeah, for the Irish language. And then the conflict is that she tries to be, I don't know, a bit more, how to put it, reserved or politically correct, or tries to play within the confines of the political system. And DJ, her boyfriend, is very much in the face, and they're singing about drugs and sex and I don't know what. So so I guess that's the conflict. Like, I don't know, what is the conflict actually?
Well, the conflict is she has a
bad light, right, on her. Like if her boyfriend is in this group that is being widely criticized for being aggressive, and like, well, promoting violence to a certain degree, and she believes that doesn't help the cause that she's
I don't think
for.
It's about him being her boyfriend. It's more that he is participating in Kneecap, that they say kind of sets this movement back because they represent the Irish language in a bad light, in the sense that they use it to sing about or to rap about, drugs, kind of promoting drugs and violence. So from their perspective, from the perspective of the people who are kind of on the other side of this argument with her, so we get a glimpse into this TV show, the TV program that she is on, where the person that is disagreeing with her uses Kneecap as an argument against the Irish language, right? And so that's kind of what sets it back, not the fact that she is dating someone who is part of it, I guess. I mean partly, but...
Yeah, but exactly. I think the main conflict is what you said, that it's using the language violently, if you will. And I think she actually mentions that to the boys when she meets them for the first time. Also a very funny scene. I think they meet at a football field, and
he tries to make it look like he doesn't know them, right?
Yeah, he doesn't know them, but then she realizes quickly that they do know each other because they tell the story of a dodo, which is also one of the gags in the movie, that DJ tells them the first time they meet that the Irish language is like a dodo in a zoo, and you have to break the glass so that it can go back into the wild and be free. Huh?
And they're like, what's a dodo?
I haven't looked up what a dodo is, but I think it's like a bird or something.
Yeah, dodo bird. You for sure know what a dodo bird is.
Yeah, I don't have a picture in my mind. Is it this one with a long beak and like...
Yeah, it's like this.
Ah, okay. No, I was a bit off. Yeah.
But actually, to be fair, I think what is also interesting is the fact that the girlfriend doesn't actually seem to mind all that much. She just minds Kneecap and him participating in it more in the sense of like a political advisor has to leave.
Politically advised.
Politically advise somebody else.
Alright.
Thank you for your political advising.
Nice to have you here.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye. Okay, where was I? So I think the girlfriend doesn't actually mind Kneecap, and doesn't mind him being part of Kneecap all that much, because we get a scene where she says, you found something you like, you are happy, and she's not saying you should stop, or, she's very supportive of him, and she is not really confronting the boys also in a very aggressive manner. She does kind of tell the same argumentation to them about, using the language for this purpose, which is not really righteous and all that. But again, I guess she also understands this is part of life. This is how language lives. If this language is used for that, great. It is used for that. It's also used for something else. It's like it just lives its own life. And that's how it should be,
Yeah.
So I think she is not really minding it in the sense of, it being used for that purpose, but more in the sense of other people who are using it as an argument against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's with him on a personal level, but from a strategical level or political level, she needs. I mean, that's I guess what she ends up breaking up with him because of image, how it looks like, and maybe what she doesn't agree with is the violence it incites in some sort of the form. I think one issue that they had was I think DJ in one of the shows shows his bum, let's say, his buttocks with a what was
Brits out.
Brits out, yeah. I mean, that's still, I guess, not that violent of a message, but
but it's still a very, very political message, and it is quite aggressive. Not like
you want to
not
harm
like
someone,
but
but I guess it's that's the question, where do you attack this problem from which angle? So do you go more from a political correct angle and try to work the system, or more in your face and more direct with some very politically incorrect music, if you will, or very direct music? And you mentioned that she understands how the language is being used, and I think we are shown some moments throughout the movie, how through this music the language evolves, right? So first of all, people are listening to the music. People are even young students of DJ are making music. So it's actually evolving, and then even more towards the end of the movie, we get one of the I don't know, was it like a manager or something, who gives them a contact, and she tells them, I actually don't speak Irish, but I started learning it because of you. So I guess that's I would say that's positive thing about this change. And I guess from the perspective of the girlfriend, why wouldn't you want to embrace that, that the language is getting more popular and people want to speak it? So I was wondering if there's a way around that, can you maybe I guess use is the right word, use the band and their popularity to promote that law of Irish as an official language. That's the initiative, right?
Yeah, I mean, actually, let me quickly see something. So apparently also, the interest in Irish and the use of Irish is picking up in the past years, because according to the census of 2022, people, the amount of people that reported speaking Irish is now a 6% increase since 2016. And now about 40% of the population say they speak Irish in some form, some ability to speak Irish. So that's in the Republic. And I think also, I'm actually interested if more people are interested in speaking Irish in the Northern Ireland, as compared to the Republic, because in the Northern Ireland, obviously, it's a bit of a kind of a way to distance yourself, or kind of set yourself apart from another group. And I feel like it would make sense if there were more people interested in learning Irish or knowing Irish in the Republic, or in Northern Ireland, than in the Republic.
Mm-hmm. Two things I can say to that is that the first one is that we get some statistics sprinkled throughout the movie, like what you mentioned, like how many people speak Irish, and I think at the beginning it was like, I don't know, I have like a number like 30,000 or something in my head. And then the other thing is that maybe, yes, the language is a way to distance themselves from certain groups, but I think, is that how did they call it at the end, what's it called in music when you do one more song, the something, because the movie ends in a song where they show like a concert from them, right?
Yeah.
And then in that scene you could really, or I felt that you could see that the language is also, it's a thing, let's say, I don't have better words but it creates a sense of communion, right? And you could feel it in the concert where people were chanting along, and that they in those lyrics and songs they were sharing their feelings, and they were expressing their common togetherness, or the sense of community. So I thought that was, sometimes I do forget that, like, language is also like community, something like a feeling, right? I mean, you get that for sure when you speak with people that come from your country, or you share the language, and it's a different form of communications because you have those shared experiences, and that you can really just latch on to.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, also Irish speakers obviously also set themselves apart through their Hiberno English, through their Irish accents and stuff like that. But I think definitely speaking Irish would set you apart even more. So I don't know, I think it's definitely an interesting thing that is going on in Northern Ireland now with the language, how it's picking up. I think it's really cool, and that people are trying to save it. I mean, obviously DJ was kind of right that it's a bit of a dodo bird, in the sense that it was a declining language, not maybe as much as some other languages are. It's not dying or anything, but it's definitely not used as spread out as English is on the Irish island. But yeah, I mean, it's cool that people are trying to make it live.
Yeah, and I guess we have some of those. I mean, those language, I'd say, issues here in Switzerland as well, where we have lots of dialects, and some are maybe, let's say, dying out, or some of them are fusing.
I think it's more the question of Romansh, actually, because that's the language that is least used here, and there are initiatives to keep it up, to speak it, and I think that's great. And I'm not sure if there is like a TV channel on it as well that only does Romansh. But what I find fascinating is even Romansh with, I don't know, is it 30,000 speakers that speak it? Or I think it's either 30 or 60 or something like that. They even have 7 or 8 dialects. It's just amazing to me. And the same is with Irish, actually. They also have a lot of dialects.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. And it's an interesting question. Like, on the one hand, if people don't speak it, the language dies out, and but on the other hand, I don't know, maybe you do want to preserve it, or people still engage in it, they still, I don't know how to put it, that they enjoy speaking it, or they feel it's part of their identity. Actually, yeah, it also reminded me, I think in Scotland they have it as well with, I don't know, if Gaelic, like, there's some languages in some very small towns that's only spoken there, and they have those issues as well, like with the language dying out and how many people still speak it. But yeah, I wanted to mention one thing that I also liked in the movie from like from a filmmaking perspective is they show lots of places in Ireland with lots of graffiti, which is very hip hop, I guess, but also I would believe very typical of Ireland, with like as a sign of protest. So I enjoyed that visual element. And the other one was one for me it's very important scene is when they were trying to book but one of the songs was going to be played on the radio, and in the end the radio says they are not going to play it because it's too what did they say? It had too much language,
too much reference to drugs and something along those lines, I think.
And then that's when Nisha's mom decides
to militarize all the other moms.
Exactly, yeah. So she was reclused in her home and didn't go out, and that's when she decides to get herself ready and go out. And I thought that was a really endearing scene. On the one hand, like her struggle and difficulties, like going out and getting herself ready, and you can see her struggling. Yeah,
I think that it's kind of implied that she has some kind of an agoraphobia or something like that, because she really doesn't leave the house, and she seems really stressed that she has to leave the house. But yeah, I mean, also we see in the end there's a scene where she sings in the pub in Irish.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Which also I think is just one of those things that it just shows that this has always, we are back to the topic of the culture through music, right? That we had with Sinners as well, that the language lives through people, through music, through culture, through shared experiences, through the community. And this is just great. I mean, the scene is really nice. Obviously, it's more, the traditional singing, not like what her son does in the movie, but it's also part of the culture. And what it also reminded me of, I always forget the name of it. Obviously, also the name is in Irish, so I never know how to pronounce it anyway. But there's this concept of storytelling. Let me quickly see if I can find how it's called. So that's the name, but I cannot pronounce it for the life of me, so...
Sean Chai or whatever.
I wish. No, if that's what it says and it's Irish, you know that that's not how you say it at all.
There's no phonetic
I think
spelling
it's
there.
Something, I can't really read that. I don't know. Can you read the transcription?
I don't know this phoneme, but something along those lines.
Yeah, listen, let's not even try to butcher it. So, this is basically the Irish storytelling is when people come together and they tell stories, and that's it. And there's kind of a revival, I think, of that going on in Ireland, because there are some evenings where this is organized and people can just come, and it's kind of an open mic and you can just tell a story. You can either do like a stand-up bit or you can just tell something, kind of Fleabag style. So I think it's just awesome, and that it exists as a concept, because I feel like it's not really a thing anywhere else. I don't know about it. I mean, obviously, okay, stand-up, if you count that's a thing. But just like people coming together in one room, people that don't know each other, and somebody just tells a story. I mean, how cool is that? I would totally participate in this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like a very human thing, and I have the feeling that I've maybe seen it in other Irish or Scottish film. Like, I can totally imagine that. Maybe what I forgot to say about the scene with the mom. Yeah, actually, the funny thing is how the mom starts spreading the rumor or starting this chain of oh, they didn't get to play, and all the moms
this
start...
is repression, political oppression,
and all the
discrimination.
All the moms started chatting about that, and the rumor spreads around. I think that...
Calling RTE then.
Yeah, so that got a lot of laughs in when we were watching it in the crowd, and also I feel like that's something that's very typical for other cultures as well. I mean, in Latin cultures where I'm from, that's the power of moms talking to each other. Like for example, my mom. What's it called? The vegetable vendor where my mom lives knows what's up with me, who's living in Switzerland, like over 10,000 kilometers away. So and I think where it got the most laughs from the crowd is when we just get to see the face of a sort of older lady, and she says, "What is it?"
She says, "Don't make me come there. Come down there."
And that's another of those micro expressions which I love. It's like one actress, and it's like a very small moment, but it's so well delivered. So that's awesome.
In this very likable Northern Irish accent as well. It's so cool. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Yeah, so I like I said, I thought the beginning was maybe a bit long, but once we get to the music, I think it really picks up. And I mean, talking about it was really fun, and I mean, it's a really authentic story and sort of raw. So it's really entertaining. You can. I enjoyed it, I would say, and but also from a filmmaking perspective, the director, what's his name again? Rich Pepia. Yeah, I don't know how many movies he's done, but I mean, lots of the elements and tricks he uses, I mean, they work quite effectively and help to, maybe in some instances exaggerate some elements, but it's always, I would say, in favor of the story.
Mm-hmm. Actually, now that I look at it, at his filmography, so he made 6 films to date, if we don't count television. And this is his only feature film. The other ones he did, there were 2 documentaries and 3 short films, which is kind of interesting because there are a lot of documentary elements in Kneecap as well, that are done very effectively too, and that don't take away from the feature film experience, I think, only add up to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if he had any experience with animation, but that I think it was also definitely used very effectively. Mm-hmm. What I also like, as you said already before, the kind of the subtitles, or when they translate what they sing, if it's important, they don't always do that. Mm-hmm. I think it was also really cool how they did it, and just generally those like little animation moments to kind of add to the comedy, or add to, adding more information for the viewer, like the lyrics, for example, translating the lyrics, but also the moment, for example, when they use the sound system thingy, they always have some kind of if they click on a button, there's a little bit of an animation effect there. Or when Nisha is in the car with Michael Fassbender, his dad, and they talk about the scene where he kind of fell off a boat and died, theoretically, and they just also include this kind of splash thingy in an animation form. I think that was really cool. Like those just tiny little elements that add to the movie. I think that was just great.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's so many elements and different kind of elements that they use, but it's and it's also, it's not a documentary, but it has documentary elements, and it's biographical, and it's a really nice, well done blend of how all of those things blend together is amazing. Yeah.
No, I think that was a really good job. This film, everybody did a great job, and actually it's kind of amazing how the boys, not being actors, they still did a great job. I mean, obviously, okay, they're playing themselves in a way, but I mean, even playing yourself, I feel like you have to have a certain degree of, acting talent, or even just being in front of a camera to even pull that off. So I think that was great.
Yeah. So I'm glad that that you didn't bully me, but listen.
I almost did. I mean, if I actually bullied you, you would have seen it long before that.
Yeah,
and actually, it took me too long to rewatch this film because I wanted to rewatch it for the longest time, but I just somehow never did. While we were choosing Kneecap for the program, I saw that they have it on Netflix. And I thought, I might actually check it out. But then I just was like, maybe I will just watch it on our screen when the time comes, which I did. And that was great. That was actually the first. Well, okay, I watched Tatami on Thursday down at the cinema part. But not from the very beginning. So now I just got to have the full experience of watching a film at our open air, because I'm usually doing my work while everybody's just settling down. But yeah, that was great as well. I'm glad Kneecap was the movie that I decided to do that for.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, we both really recommend watching it. And yeah, Dario was saying yesterday. Yeah, also listen to their music. They have 2 albums, I think he mentioned. Yep. And I mean, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of hip hop, but I must say I really enjoyed a couple of the songs.
Yeah, I'm also not a great fan of rap, but if it's political, I'm very into it. I just think the rap scene is so different that I think the politics of it is not really in the forefront anymore a lot of the time, but in this case it definitely is. And that's the rap I like. So that's why I like Kneecap too.
And that's how we'll wrap it up for this episode.
You're such a pun master, look at you.
Thanks a lot for listening, and catch you next time.
Bye.